Hello. So I've decided to do a Q&A on the lawn today because it's a really nice day. It's a little bit windy, but I still think you should be able to hear me. And the dogs are having a really good time. Beautiful day. All right, let's get started. All right, I'm basically going to read through some of the questions that you guys put on my Instagram post on my phone, and I'm going to do my best to answer as many as I can. So, most incredible wildlife encounter to date. The birds are a little bit loud in the background, but it's all right. And most incredible experience underwater. So, being in the water, I mean, there's been so many encounters that I've had that have blown my mind, but I've actually been in the water with a pod of orcas, which was my lifelong dream that came true a few years ago. And it was absolutely incredible and really hard to explain, kind of like made you really emotional in the water. And it was with a group of friends and very passive. The orcas just literally swam past us and it was absolutely amazing. The second one is for sure in Tonga. The first time I went, I had like this experience with this humpback that was singing so close to me and so loud that my whole body was vibrating. Like the rumbles in its growls, like in its vocals, were so powerful that it was physically shaking my body and my carbon fins. And that was something that like I'll never ever forget. And I'm really excited to go back next year. As for other wildlife encounters on land, I've of course had some absolutely incredible ones. The first time I went to Kruger National Park in South Africa, I was actually sitting on the tracker seat on the front of a safari truck, coming back from a night safari, like a night drive, and a whole herd of elephants crossed the road in front of us, and the mum like came out first and was kind of checking us out to make sure we were safe to pass the whole herd in front of us, including her baby. And she like come really close up to me and used her trunk to sniff me. And it was like the most vulnerable I've ever felt, I think, but also it was so special. I remember just trying to be really calm and try to tell her like, I'm not a threat, everything's okay. Yeah, and that was really amazing because the area that we were in, the elephants there are quite defensive because they run into poachers all the time. And so they don't have great trust in humans. So to experience that was really incredible. I also can't wait to go back there next year. There's a little fig bird in the tree over there that keeps making noise. Oh, those mozzies. Okay, next question. What do we got? How is Bungie doing? Bungie's doing great. I'm so excited. I get to see her in like a couple of weeks because we are driving back through South Oz, which is where I'm from. And I do miss greatly, but I live between two really amazing places now and love it. And Bungie's very happy. She lives at Tucson Sanctuary, which is where I transitioned her to now 3 or 4 years ago. And so that's very much her home now. And she has a little buddy there called George, who is a Euro or a Wallaroo as well. And she just chills out. They've got like lots of property and lots of other kangaroos and wombats there. I miss her so much, and when I do go back, she comes up to me and we have a lot of moments that are really quite emotional, but it's the best possible outcome. I actually just finished writing the book about my story with her. So that will be coming out in, I think, late next year, which is a really special story, and it was about 35,000 words, so I can't wait to share it with you all. Okay, so next question is how to keep training for freediving when you don't have much time, recommended courses and retreats. Are you going to host more retreats? So how to keep training for freediving when you don't have much time. Of course, practice makes perfect, and consistency is amazing, and you get amazing results if you're trying to progress in freediving. Obviously, not everyone can do it every day or even every week, so some of the best ways to do that if you don't have access to like a regular group or a regular pool training, or even just going out regularly diving, is doing static or dynamic apnea training at home. So there's quite a few programs you can do that are available through multiple different platforms to keep up your breath hold at home as well as your CO2 tolerance. So I use programs from my friends at Molchanov's, which is a training that I did my freedive instructors with. And I also have quite a lot of programs that I do for myself, which I've kind of tailored for myself, that are for surfing as well, because I haven't been able to surf the last couple of months because I had shoulder surgery. But pool training is really great, of course, and as always, if you're ever training at all or diving at all in the pool or in the ocean, please always have a buddy. It's absolutely crucial for safety, and it also is way more fun. Plus it helps you progress quicker. So, hope that answered your question. Okay, next question. Recommended courses and retreats. Sorry, I forgot about that. So my recommended courses for freediving are, if you're specifically looking to do a freedive course, is with Molchanov's. They are by far the most advanced and professional freediving platform and company to do. Their instructor course is miles ahead, more challenging and more requirements and all that than any of the other providers. And I know because I did quite a few courses with all the other providers, like level 1 and 2 early on, and getting my instructors with Molchanov's was really challenging, and I learnt a lot. It teaches you a lot, and yeah, I recommend doing a course with them. You can look them up on Instagram. Quite a lot of my friends that are freediving instructors train and teach Molchanov's. As for watermanship though, and like if you're trying to combine surfing, or if you've got friends that spear or and freedive, I also recommend watermanship courses. So my friend Joe in Western Australia runs those courses, and they're basically training also for people that want to, you know, be comfortable in heavy water situations, which has been really relevant for me because I've been a surfer my whole life, and I got into freediving from my surfing. The difference between flat water, calm, freediving down a line, and being a freediver in situations that are quite high stress and high CO2, for example, in like a washy ocean with bad viz, is very different. And I think they're both very, very beneficial. And just never forget that experience is everything. So even if you go through the progress of getting your freedive instructors, that may only take you a year, but it can take years to have experience and the knowledge of people that have spent their life on the ocean. And that's where surfers have a lot of an idea. They've been in a lot of situations where they've had to calm themselves, and I find that combining those two makes you a really confident water person, and also just, yeah, really aware of all situations, because you never know what the ocean's going to throw at you, and you always want to be calm. Am I going to host more retreats? So next year I have Antarctica, which isn't diving, but it's going to be mind-blowing wildlife expedition. It's Antarctica, so it's obviously speaks for itself. And then I have in June and July South Africa endangered species, which is so crazy. We're literally working with some of the most amazing conservation orgs in Africa, and we're going to be hands-on there helping with a bunch of different things, and that one is land-based. And then Tonga, I've got 2 weeks there, which is freediving with whales, and I'll definitely be hosting a few little workshops on that. All of my retreats are currently sold out, but of course I will be running more in coming years and probably doing some other ones too. So if you want to make sure that you have first dibs on those, please go on my website and sign up to either my newsletter or submit forms on the pages for the trips, and that way you'll be on the wait list. And I send out my wait list invites for trips before I announce it on social media, so they get first dibs. So I think that answers those questions. Okay, so I just went and put a hat on because it's really sunny out here. So what do I keep in my car for wildlife rescue and assistance? So, great question. Australia is full of animals that need help. If you've driven anywhere around Australia, you will know that. It's really, really hectic. I have been a wildlife carer, mostly for kangaroos, for quite a while now, but I will rescue anything. And I think that most of the time, wildlife that's on the side of the road can be helped with a few simple steps. And we have put together an app for that for Balu Blue over the past year or two, and we are really excited to release it in the coming months, because basically the goal is to get them out of harm's way and to the right care. And one of those things you can do is keep some good stuff in your car. So I keep always something like this. You can just use a pillowcase, you can use a jumper tied in a little knot. Basically it's just like a nice little area, because kangaroo joeys, like anything that mimics a pouch, they just want to get in. And the crucial thing is warmth, quietness, and reducing factors that cause them stress. If they're little tiny ones, you can also put them down your top, because then they can hear a heartbeat, it's warm, and it's safe. So I always keep something like this in my car for joey, wombat joeys, possum joeys, kind of anything. It's really great, and you can just hold it like this. But yeah, pillowcases work really good too. I also keep a big towel in my car. Big towels are really crucial for things like birds. Like if you find a bird of prey or a bird that's, you know, you're not sure if it's going to peck you and it's really injured, or something like a kookaburra, holding the towel up, you can throw the towel over the bird and it covers them and it doesn't stress them out, and you can scoop them up and tuck their wings into their body and then get them the help they need ASAP. So I keep the pouch, a towel, I keep some kind of box in case you find like a lizard or like an animal that needs to be contained in a box. Ideally like one that has like holes in the side, or it's got to be ventilated a little bit. A cardboard boxes are fine, like, because the top of them you can have slightly open. Anything's better than nothing. Also keep scissors in my car, because quite often you might find a joey that's still attached to the teat, and you can't pull them off of the teat because it will damage their mouth. So I keep scissors in my car. I also keep gloves for obvious reasons. Some situations are really gnarly. I also keep, the dogs are playing, this, which is Wombaroo 0.7. I am a carer, so I often get handed joeys. Basically on the back there's like all the different stages of kangaroo growth and development, which if you're a wildlife carer you know all about. But basically this is a good backup for if you get handed one and you can't get to a vet to check on it. I just had to move because my GoPro just got too hot. We were talking about wildlife rescue. So the other things that I keep in my car, since I've been in Tasmania, I have kept this in my car. It's called Critter Clean, and it's used to treat things like wombats that have mange or that have like problems with their skin. It's really amazing. It's made locally here in Tasmania. It's actually a massive problem down here with mange with wombats, and I have been a part of the team that like checks on wombats and helps try to treat them for mange. So that's done with, I have like a long pole with a net, and if a wombat's in a really bad way, you can put the net over it and treat it with Bravecto, which you'll know about if you've got a dog. It's basically helps treat the infection. And then, or you can bring them into the vet by putting them in the net, and usually if they are in a bad way they won't resist, and it doesn't stress them out, and then you put them in a tub. I have that stuff. I also have these burrow flaps that you put over wombat burrow, so when the wombat comes out of the burrow it puts the Mozzie just got me it puts the treatment on their back, which helps them with mange, which is amazing. Tassie is actually the worst I've ever seen for roadkill and wildlife needing to be rescued. It's been really, really confronting. I've had a few joeys since I've been down here in care, and met some amazing wildlife carers, and there is an amazing wildlife care community down here. And because we're heading back to WA, I will for sure have this whole kit in my car and kind of be ready for anything on the way over there. Okay, so next question. Were you a competitive surfer, or did you / do it for fun? So yeah, I was a competitive surfer for my entire teenage years. It was my whole life and I absolutely loved it. and it got to a point where I didn't have financial sponsors to get to all the comps back then. It was before social media and all of that jazz, and I absolutely loved surfing. It was my whole life, and I found myself kind of competing in a lot of competitions where the waves weren't very good, and I just stopped having fun, and it wasn't what surfing is about. And where I grew up, the waves are really good, and I was like, why am I chasing not too good waves? And I wasn't really enjoying it, so I decided to pull away from competitive surfing and go to university to study marine biology. And yeah, I still have surfing sponsors now. I surf a lot and I absolutely love it. And I'm free surfing now, and focusing on the fun compartment of it too. My partner Chipper, if you haven't watched his surfing, you should. He's absolutely amazing. But yeah, so surfing's a massive part of my life. It always will be. It's how I got into freediving, and yeah, kind of paved the way for me into all of this, into kind of where I'm at today, combined with the wildlife conservation work I do and freediving, and yeah. Okay, so as expected, a million questions in regards to marine biology. So where did you study? What did you study? So I studied Bachelor of Marine Biology undergrad at Flinders University in South Australia. I wanted to study marine bio ever since I was a little kid, because of course it's has a lot of drawing factors, completely engulfed in the marine environment, especially growing up surfing and in a really wild place where I was surrounded by wild. So with marine biology, marine science, environmental conservation, all of those kind of degrees, there are a million ways you can evolve it into a career, and it's entirely dependent on what else you bring to the table. So I never wanted to work in a lab, I never wanted to be a lecturer, and I never kind of saw myself working on one specific research project. I wanted to do the degree and get the knowledge, especially in regards to scientifically being able to look at situations, especially in conservation, and being able to work out solutions to them, as well as have the ability and knowledge to create my own research projects in the future if I wanted to. So my goal was always to be kind of armed with all the knowledge that I could have and gain as much experience as I could have to basically grow my career in the direction I wanted. So it really can evolve into whatever you want it to be. It depends which way you want to go about it. By the time I finished university, I already had most of my scuba dive certificates, which I just worked for. I worked a million cafe jobs and other jobs. I was teaching surfing on weekends and school holidays. I did a bunch of stuff to earn enough money to go and then volunteer at places, to travel and volunteer, my qualifications. So by the time I finished uni, I had pretty much all my certificates but my dive masters, and what else did I have? I had my instructor certificates for kayaking, snorkeling, all these random things that I worked I did outdoor ed instructing while I was at university to make money as well. I wanted to make myself really employable. Even if you have a marine biology degree, if you can't tie a bowline on a boat or know how to do basic deckhand things, no one's probably going to employ you for the first bit, because you need to be able to do a bunch of things and help out across the board. So my recommendations are to be comfortable on boats, get some experience on boats, get your scuba dive certificates, try to volunteer in different wildlife work, whether that's land-based or, yeah, pretty much decide where you want it, what your end goal is, and then the steps you got to take to get there. And sometimes that takes a really long time. I was the bottom of the pecking order for a lot of years. I worked on a research boat off Hawaii as a wildlife spotter and a photographer, and I learned how to use a camera, I learned how to film videos, learned how to edit videos. Yeah, I've just been learning different skills all along the way, but in the beginning I really went hard on making myself super experienced and knowledgeable and learning from everyone, and knowing that a lot of people that know the most about wildlife don't have any degrees at all. Some of the most valuable things I've learned are from people that have just been there, had experience and been around animals their whole life. Also, because you have to take into account that science and the world is constantly evolving. The world's a very different place than it was when I was at university. And I know that, and I'm aware of that, and that's why, although doing a degree is really valuable for the baseline and it will help you get work, experience is 100% key, and being really humble. You have to give yourself time to get where you are. You're not going to get there straight out of university. It's been almost 10 years since I finished university, and only now I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm satisfied with where I'm at in my career. And that's a combination of my conservation work and my freediving and my surfing. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but my past's been super unique. But I have pretty much just had a goal of working with animals and being in the water, and I was going to do anything to make that happen. So that's where I am today. So I've actually been working super hard this year on a new collection and altering the Apex collection, which is the earrings that are now online. They're really cool. They've got like the shark tooth that you can loop over the hoop, and then the drop chain. So something I prepared earlier. The next collection I'm releasing is called Aurelia, which is actually after a shipwreck. I've always wanted to release a range that features pearls because they're so beautiful, but not real pearls because it's a hard industry to navigate for ethics. And if you are going to wear real pearls, they're going to be really, really expensive if they're from the right place. And I'm not ready to tap into that yet, when you can get ones that are synthetic or kind of lab grown that look the same and last a really, really long time. So I've made a range with sterling silver 925, which you can wear everywhere, and 9 carat solid gold. So if you plate jewellery, eventually the plating will wear off, and I don't want that. I want people to be able to wear it forever and not have to worry, and of course you have to look after it. But so these are a pair that I'm bringing out. They're so pretty. I've been wearing these for like probably 6 months now. So I'm making these in gold and silver. So that's the gold pair, sorry, that's the silver pair. And then the gold pair is here. I'm obsessed with these. These are amazing for diving and surfing and like sailing and doing things where you don't want to have to worry about them coming out. They're so solid, you'd like literally just clip them like that, and then that's it, then you don't have to worry. So I've been wearing those if I surf or dive, or these, the atoll ones, which have been super popular, and I love them equally. We're also bringing out hoops, so little tiny hoops with interchangeable pearl pendants, which is so cute. So these tiny little hoops, so these are silver ones, and they hook in with they're like a huggy clasp, and they have a little pearl that dangles off of them, and they're super pretty. So these are solid gold, so these will be a much higher price point than the silver ones. I actually haven't had the gold made yet, but the silver will be out before Christmas along with the rest of these. And then I also made, sorry, there's so many mosquitoes, it's crazy. We just had a lot of rain here. The bottom of our property actually flooded yesterday. So these are going to be the threads. So they're basically a silver chain with a little pearl pendant, and then the hard bit of solid silver on the end that threads through your ear. So those are coming in gold as well. They're so pretty. They're like real dainty, and we've got these really cute new little envelopes that these really small and delicate pieces go in. Then we've also got a necklace to match everything, of course. This is just in sterling silver. It's like my go-to material for sure. It's just like a pretty and like real dainty little necklace. I'm really excited about launching this collection. I've never done anything like this yet, so it'll all be out in the next few weeks. So that's exciting. Yeah, that's basically what I've had going on for Bandicoot. These are the gold threads. So they're basically a solid gold chain with a silver thread through, and then it's a full gold clasp with a pearl on the end. They look really pretty in your ears, and you can combo these up if you've got 2 ear piercing holes. a lot of other questions I could answer, but this is probably long enough for this one. So maybe we'll do another Q&A in coming months, or you can leave your comments on this video and I can do another one. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. It's been a bit of a quiet year on YouTube because I've had a lot going on in the back end, but next year is going to be a very large year on YouTube. I'm going to be posting a lot of videos and I'm really excited to share, especially my expeditions with you guys. So, shout out to GoPro. I'm filming this on the new GoPro Hero 11 with a mic mod on, which is really cool. And yeah, I can't wait to take it everywhere next year. Thanks for watching from me and Ahana, who's so sleepy, and Rainy Girl. A lot of people also ask about my dogs, so might as well just answer a question about them while we wrap it up. So I have 2 dogs. Me and Chipper have 2 dogs. Ahana, who's just here, she is absolute, just the most beautiful creature ever. She's Maremma, cross border collie with a little bit of blue heeler. She's just turned 6. She's basically a big bear who absolutely loves to swim and loves to look after small fluffy things because that's in her breed. Maremmas are known for like being a livestock guardian, protecting chickens and stuff like that, but she mostly just swims and lays on the couch and protects Rain. Which brings me to Rainy Girl, who's just the most beautiful little girl. And she is a straight border collie. She's not an Aussie Shepherd, which everyone says. She's 2 and she's our beautiful little angel. And she's very sooky and very affectionate. And both of our dogs come everywhere with us. We basically make it work wherever we are because they're our family. So yeah, hope that answers some questions. If you've got any more questions about them or anything else, just pop them in the comments. But yeah, thanks and see you soon.